Bite. Amakuru. Welcome back again today, guys. Today I'm going to be talking about Imana, which is the god of creation who hunted death within the Burundi, Tanzania, and Rwandan area. I also just want to start off and let you know that I do not speak Kenya Rwanda fluently, so excuse me if I get some pronunciations wrong. Imana is the creator god of the ethnic groups or peoples from what is modern-day Rwanda, Burundi, and parts of Tanzania. Such ethnic groups as the Burundi and the Banyarwanda people. The peoples originally believed in the singular god before the introduction of Islam and Christian religion. Imana in human form had long arms and wore red garbs. He controls Earth and always comes back to Rwanda to rest at night because this is his home. Imana was almighty and gracious. He ruled all living things and gave them immortality by hunting the animal death. Death took shape as a wild, savage animal. Imana created a root in which man came from. The root of man, or Kazi Muntu, would have many children. The kids and father would continuously fight, which caused them to move further and further away from each other. This is why mankind can now be found all over the world. There is different versions of Imana's story, and we will look at some now. In one version, Imana was trying to make man immortal by constantly chasing and hunting death. Death would sometimes take shape of an animal. Imana, one day, would ask mankind to hide in their homes so he could finally hunt and catch death. An old woman would disobey Imana and come out of her house to get vegetables from her garden. Death would quickly hide under her skirt and take him back into her home. Imana was so mad once he found out that Imana said death could live among humans. Death would multiply and Imana would forever be hunting death. Not just in one, but hunting billions of deaths. Death would now outnumber Imana. The old woman would pass away and had a funeral. 3 days after the funeral, the daughter-in-law, who did not like the old lady, saw cracks where she was buried. The daughter-in-law would fill the cracks with dirt and wanted her to stay dead. 2 days later, she would repeat this when she saw the cracks again. 3 days later, no cracks could be found. This would signify the end of man's immortality. Death would now stay forever. Another version of Imana goes like this. Imana would tell every human to hide in their homes while he hunts and finishes off death. An old woman would come outside and disobey Imana. Death would quickly run to the woman and ask her to help him hide. The woman agrees and opens her mouth. Death then hides in her mouth, and the woman swallows death. Once Imana arrived and found out, he would be very, very mad. Imana would then, from there on out, let death do whatever it wanted to do. This signifies the end of immortality for humans. Imana had a good nature and very rarely intervened with human affairs. In one occasion, Imana would step in when a man kept borrowing beans from the locals without paying them back. He does have say-so in humans' life from birth. Imana determines a person's destiny when they are born. He could set a person's life for positive or negative. Such events like a divorce, a person getting sick, or getting into a lot of debt was all set in destiny by Imana. The connection between women and Imana was also very strong. When a woman was pregnant, she would put a few drops of water into a pitcher. Imana, also known as the potter, would mix the water with the clay within the woman's belly to make a baby. Imana would give every human being souls, but not animals. People after death would live near where they lived during their life. The person would also keep their personality, name, and identity. Most of the living did not want the spirits of the afterlife hanging around. This was because they were not of the living world and they could cause poor harvests, poverty, or illness. The local people did give tributes to the spirits so they would be happy. This is because the spirits could control their family members. The peoples would give gifts such as beans or milk regularly. When bigger blessings were needed, they would offer bigger items like a bull. These gifts were made by the head of the family, and if the spirits were not happy, a diviner was summoned to help. Imana would give diviners the power to understand and make sense of Imana's plan. The diviners would use pieces of wood and throw them on the ground to read them according to how they fell. They would also use the spiritual world to prophesize the future, and the diviners would also use intestines and fat from animals to mix them with herbs to dry. When dried, the fat would be burned for several hours as it is watched to interpretate the message over time. Hero spirits also existed as well. One hero spirit was a man attacked by a buffalo while hunting, eventually dying under a tree. This man would tell all of the tribes of the area to follow and worship the future king. Another hero spirit was a woman who was unmarried and murdered. Imana made her immortal, and she was worshipped and served by priests. King or kings of Rwanda would be an incarnation of Imana. He would be addressed as Lord or God and own all the lands, women, and its cows. He was the ruler of power and wealth over the people and was, in some sense, immortal. He would be immortal by the memory of himself to the people who would never forget about him. It was deadly to rebel against the king, and those who did would meet the wrath of Imana. So yo guys, today we learned about Imana, which is a traditional African god in the Rwanda Burundi area. And if you like this video, please like, subscribe, turn on the bell notification, and make sure you subscribe, it's free. And make sure you add me on all social medias, which is Afric Network, which is Instagram, Twitter, SoundCloud, Snapchat, Facebook, TikTok, all Afric Network. I really love this video, and I really think that this video should be made into a movie. It's just amazing. Africa has so many stories, so many beliefs, so many amazing things that the people in the world just need to know about. So yo guys, until next time, please always love each other, always like each other. Yo, Rwanda, like always, peace, one love.